Good evening, everyone. We are so excited that this is our first ever virtual meeting due to trying to keep socially distant and trying to be very cognizant of health. We're going to do this online. So we are glad I see people coming in. So tonight we've got some special guests that are going to speak, as well as we're going to have some updates on our first ever Virtual Night of Champions, which is September 3rd. And then we're going to have our first ever virtual buddy walk, which is going to be October 3rd. So two very exciting events coming up. And we're going to have some information for you on that tonight. But first, I want to bring a young lady here that is going to talk to everybody. And she is a sophomore at Effingham High School. And her name is Kristen. How are you, Kristen?
Good.
Good to see you. So, Kristen, you have had a great summer so far, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell us some information of what's happened this summer with you.
Well, I am 50 years and sophomore at Effingham Parent High School. I am 16 years old. The past 2 years have been exciting for me. I made the field team at EDHS. I am safety keeper for football, and I also get to cheer for the varsity basketball games too. Some of my favorite things about cheer are doing my cheers, dances, and stunts. But my most favorite things about cheer is hanging out with my cheer friends. We are happy parties together and hang out for the games. And I love my coaches. They are sweet and funny. I was also in the face of the South Magazine in my cheer uniform with Sean, Ella, Michael, and Lainey. And they are some of my LDSS friends. Another part of school for me is being a member of the chorus and EDHS show choir. In show choir, we get seen and dance. I have 5 different partners. When we were dating last year, I had a lot of friends in show choir. I am in drama class this year, and I hope I get to help with a few of the plays. I was in the play called The Brothers Grimm in the 8th grade at Effingham Middle School. I love being a member of LDSS and have gone to Cambodia every year. Even this year, when I was online, I always have fun seeing my friends.
Thank you so much, Kristen. That is awesome. I asked you just to say a few words, and you are just a regular chatty patty, which is awesome. So thank you so much. And we are so proud of all of the accomplishments. I once said to your mom that there's probably somebody at home right now that has a 6-month-old and they don't know what's going to happen with their child. And, they can see you and say, wow, they really can do some great things. So we're so proud of you and thank you. And it was a great talk tonight.
Bye. Bye.
All right. Bye. So next, I want to introduce you to our main speaker. And hold on, Kristen, I'm trying to get you. So I know people are going through transitions like we are, and that's Miss Laney in the background. If you want to say hi there. But our kids are getting back to school, and they are in the middle of figuring out if we're going to go live or if we're going to go virtual. And also, Miss Julie Harden is also going to talk about some of the funding challenges that we're up against. And, we are just trying to figure out along the way how to do that. So, Miss Julie, if you want to introduce yourself and just start, if you would.
Okay. Am I on?
You're on.
I'm on. Hi, I'm Julie Hardiman, and I'm a parent mentor in the Savannah Chatham County Public Schools Department of Specialized Instruction. And John, when you asked me to do this, I kind of thought back to my first LDSS meeting was 8 years ago in the fall. I think it was a September meeting at the Memorial, I guess the doctor's building. We were all in there, and I remember meeting a little redheaded baby and her mom and thinking, oh, this is where I need to be coming as a parent mentor. First of all, a parent mentor is a part of the Georgia Parent Mentor Partnership. And the partnership is a collaborative agreement between school districts and the the state, Georgia Department of Education. First of all, parent mentors are parents of kids with disabilities. I use my kids' stories a lot. I have two daughters. One is 24 now, and one's 19. But it was my oldest child, my 24-year-old. She was in middle school when she had onset of a mental health illness called obsessive compulsive disorder. And OCD is the acronym, but it actually runs in my husband's family. So we were kind of aware that this could be coming our way with our oldest daughter because we were watching some of her behaviors and some of the eccentric type of, acts that she would do. But when it hit, it was so all-time and consuming that I was at a loss what to do as a parent. My background actually is I was a special education teacher for 13 years in Chatham County schools, and I worked with kids with severe and moderate disabilities in high school. I've always been a high school person. And then I was a stay-at-home mom with my husband, and I worked in his business. We have an insurance agency. But when my daughter started exhibiting signs of a mental health disorder, I was at a loss of where to go. At the time, she was being educated in a small private school. So I first reached out to the school that she would have gone to in the public setting. And I found out about the Georgia Parent Mentor Partnership. And they shared some resources with me, but they really shared information about the Parent Training Information Center, which is part of Parent to Parent of Georgia. And I was able to be matched with parents of older kids who have OCD and learn how those parents dealt with it, the resources they needed to get, looking at school resources. My child was in a private school. I knew that we were going to have to make the adjustment to go to a public school because she needed services that the private school could not provide. So I did move my daughter in 9th grade from her private school, which was a class of, I think, 14 kids for the whole grade level, to Islands High School on Wilmington Island. And at the time, she was not receiving services through an IEP. I went in there and I said, my daughter has problems with obsessive compulsive disorder, but I also suspected that there was a math disability as well. And I requested that the team immediately start looking at her for response to intervention, the RTI process, to see if they could bring some supports to her. And long story short, she was identified as a kid having a disability under the law of special education, Individuals with Disability Education Act, or IDEA. And she had an IEP for her sophomore, junior, and senior year. And the IEP goals were really focused on the math disability at the time, but the mental health piece was always there. And I will share that the special education team, really helped me as a parent to figure out what I needed to do to support Haley. Haley had a dream to go to college, and academically she could go to college, but the mental health piece was significant enough that we knew we needed to develop the appropriate plans to support her, not only through high school, but into the post-school setting. So in high school, part of your IEP is called a transition plan. And those transition goals are kind of like the overarching goal where your kid sees herself after school. And the IEP goals then start supporting those transition goals. And Haley made it through high school, graduated with a high school diploma. She continued with therapy for her OCD, and she got not caught up, that's not the best word to use, with the math disability, but she was able to learn through specialized instruction how to accommodate for her math disability. And she said, I want to go to college. I said, that's great. We got to take the SAT. And I remember we took the SAT 7 times. In Georgia, they super scored. And at the time Haley started, she started kind of like in her late sophomore year. We knew we needed to get the benchmark. She had the language arts piece, but she didn't have the math piece. But we heard about the super score piece, and then a school guidance counselor talked to us about doing a study course and looking at the super score. And she applied herself, and she entered Georgia College and State University when she graduated. And fast forward 4 years, she graduated with a business degree in marketing. Last year, she moved to Atlanta. She lives independently in an apartment, and she's been home with the quarantine. It's been kind of a struggle with the quarantine and the fear of contamination for somebody who has obsessive compulsive disorder. But she's here right now in our home, but she is moving back, well, not moving, but she's going back home to her apartment, but she's actually buying her first condo in Buckhead and closing on it this Friday. And I look at her pathway and think, how do we support kids? What can parents do? What can we help parents learn about to get their kids into their dreams? So I use a lot of the strategies and situations that I had with Haley. But again, the Georgia Parent Mentor Partnership is that collaborative effort. We are not advocates. We're first of all parents of kids with disabilities. I just happen to have a background in education, but most of the parent mentors around the state come from a variety of backgrounds. There's about 100 of us around the state. Chatham County has 2, Effingham has 1, Liberty and Richmond Hill have 1 each. But we are there to support parents of kids with disabilities. In counties such as Chatham, because we're such a large county, I and Lastania Dillard, Lastania is my coworker, we each work 20 hours a week, and we support the county by dividing it up. Lastania helps supports our kids with who are in preschool and elementary years, and my role is in middle and high school. And some of that's because I had, as a teacher in special education, I've always worked in high school, and my focus is helping our kids get across the stage and move into productive school lives. So when you think about the role of Parent Mentor and how it can help parents in our community, we're a resource for y'all. The first thing that I would recommend, if you're in a county, find out who your Parent Mentor is. You can call the district. You can say, do you have Parent Mentor program? We do have a website. I should have provided that link to you tonight, John, but I can send it later. Parents can look up and find that website and say, this is my Parent Mentor. So in Chatham, I offer a lot of workshops on IEP process. Your first experience as a parent of a kid with special needs is rather overwhelming. I can remember the day and the time and what I was having for lunch when the doctor called me back to tell me about my oldest daughter's diagnosis. I was sitting at Larry's restaurant in Savannah on Skidaway Drive, and it was fried chicken day. And I remember getting that phone call and how it made me feel. And then later that night, I was very upset, but I was also, happy because I finally knew what it was. And now that I had a diagnosis, I could start making a plan to support her. So our first support for parents is to support them when they get that diagnosis. Those initial those initial IEP meetings are very, very big and can be very confusing for a family that's still just struggling with that diagnosis. So parent mentors can support you. So what we do in Chatham County, we offer opportunities for parents to get prepared for those meetings. We partner with Parent to Parent of Georgia, and that's the largest parent information training center in our state, and they share a lot of great resources. First of all, parent mentor services and parent to parent services are free. They're at no cost to any parents. I know there's some private sources, and that's fine, but I always tell parents, you do have resources that come at no cost to you. We do workshops because I am assigned mostly to middle and high school. A lot of the times I'm talking about what it takes to get your kid across the stage for graduation, to get that high school diploma and move into productive post-school lives. In the world of education, we look at it two ways in special education. We either want your child to go into education. That could be a post-secondary inclusive program. We have 8 of those around the state right now, and they serve our kids with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Or your child could go, or your young adult could go into technical school, the military, and colleges. We talk a lot about the law changes. I always tell groups of kids that I work with, right now you have an IEP. It's so important for our kids to understand their IEP. But we also talk about understand your accommodations, understand your strengths and your weaknesses so you can talk to people about what you need to be successful. That's self-advocacy. When you leave us in public school between the ages of 18 to 22, your parents can no longer be your voice. We need to hear your voice. And that's a process that starts very early at the beginning years and is reinforced through the school. And one thing, but with my younger child, is she actually has dyslexia. And I have let her just learn how to be her own self advocate. When she didn't get an accommodation, she started asking, why are you not giving me the accommodation? It was actually a Spanish teacher, and the Spanish teacher felt like the IEP wasn't a document to be honored. And so my child would come home and say, she's not giving me my extra time accommodation. I said, well, what should you do? And she says, well, you should go in there, Mom. And I'm like, no, I should not go in there at this point. You're going to be going to college. You could have a professor who's not going to honor an accommodation under 504 or the American Disabilities Act. You need to figure out how you're going to voice your concern to this person and get the accommodation that's provided to you under IDEA. And but she did make it through Spanish, and now she is entering. She's going to start college in 2 weeks at University of Georgia. But kids have to self-identify when they go to college. They have to be the ones that walk into that office and sit down with the disabilities office and say, I have a disability. Here's my supporting documentation. Parent mentors can help families understand the process to access those services in post-school settings. One of the great things I do love about being a parent mentor and working in Savannah is that we have a wonderful vocational transition program in Savannah Chatham County Public Schools. We have Project Search, which a lot of people are familiar of. It's a work program offered at St. Joseph Candler and I would call it Georgia Southern, but it was Armstrong for so many years, that helps kids go through rotations and get placed in different jobs. Unbeknown to many families until you get into high school, we also have a huge internship program and a very large, robust community-based vocational instruction program. When people or administrators or families ask the purpose of community-based instruction is to help our kids who have problems generalizing skills taught in a classroom to real settings. It gives them an opportunity to practice that skill in a real setting. My first year teaching, I was at Johnson High School. I had a home living room and I had a bed, and I had a parent that it was very important to her that her child learn how to make his bed. So that was one of the goals, that we're going to teach this child how to make his bed. And we had it broken down in different pieces, and we would work with this kid, and he could make the bed in the classroom at Johnson High School. He couldn't generalize that skill to his bed at home. So it was Johnson High School. It's in the community of Thunderbolt. I lived in Thunderbolt as well. I knew this kid. So I went to his house several mornings a week, and he got up and we made his bed, and we kind of started backing off, and we taught him how to make that bed in his own home because he could not generalize his skills. That's the whole purpose behind community-based vocational instruction. And we talk to parents about it because sometimes it seems it's very different than like a traditional classroom instruction. Other topics of interest when we talk to parents is we talk topics of that parents, I've had to deal with as a parent is like information about transfer of rights at 18. You think about that. Our kids are our kids forever, and we're very protective of them. But at 18, in the eyes of the state and the federal government, they're 18 years old. So we actually offer workshops. We bring in attorneys, Bill Broker from Georgia Legal, who's a wonderful resource for us. to talk to parents about what does that mean at 18? Your kid suddenly becomes his own adult. We have a piece for the educational side that we share, but then Bill Broker can share, yes, you're suddenly your child who may have significant disabilities is his own adult, unless you look at supportive decision making or guardianship, or really the least restrictive is power of attorney and healthcare director. So we offer workshops on that because I'm so focused on I want our kids to go into the community and get jobs. I talk to parents often about thinking about how you're going to support them financially. There's tools such as Social Security work incentives and the stable account, the ABLE legislation that was passed, I think 7 years ago this past July, achieving a better life experience, how our kids can go and work and still receive federal and state benefits and have income and have a place to put that income that doesn't threaten their ability to tap into Medicaid. We talk to parents about that very early on because we don't want that to be a barrier to employment down the road. So parent mentors offer much training. And parent mentors in our southeast area, there's 13 of us right now, we all collaborate. So if I have workshops in Chatham, they're always open to parents, and parents of kids who are now adults who may be in their 30s and 40s, they're welcome to come to us and learn about these processes. One other thing we do as parent mentors, we talk a lot about parent school communication. Our role is to really help facilitate that dialogue. We want our families to be engaged. That's why parent mentors came about. They wanted the parents of kids with significant disabilities to have a voice at the table. So they brought parent mentors in, they trained parent mentors, and now we talk to parents who also have kids with disabilities. The second piece is talking to those administrators and teachers about the needs of our families and the parents. Just because our parents may not be able to attend a school function because they're tied up with a kid at home who has full care needs doesn't mean they don't want to be engaged. We want to bring that voice to our administrators and let them hear the concerns and actually ideas that our parents have to offer. So we in Chatham, we have a direct line to the special education director. We report to her. So I always tell parents the first way to get your situation or concern resolved is to bring it up to your teacher, your case manager. Then the next person is the principal. And if you don't get satisfaction there, then go to the program manager and or director. But always know that parent mentors are out there. You can always call us and we can get you straight into the special education director because we want to address the concerns of our families and help our kids move forward. And then the last thing I like to talk about this evening is about community supports, because I've been around for so many, I guess I want to say decades. This is my 4th decade in the world of that I work in as a parent, as a teacher, and now as a parent mentor, is the adult world that supports our adults with special needs when they leave public school. Community supports are extremely beneficial for our families, and they're not always known by school staff. You know, our educators go to school to learn process and how to teach and how to think like a teacher, but there's no magic manual that they have concurrently next to them. It talks about what's in your community that can support your parents at the same time. So what parent mentors do and Parent to Parent Georgia does, we look at what's available in our community and we bring that information into our staff and to our families. And we offer workshops and let those individuals talk about their services. Two of the most important services that I talk about recently are family support and the Department of Developmental Disabilities. The family support funding has been cut. I know we may have some conversation about that back and forth in a minute, but we also need to make sure families are aware of it. We need to continue to apply for that because those services support our families in community settings. And it could be transportation to and from doctor's appointments. In the past, it's been summer camps, but it's an important service. The big waivers under the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities are those now comp waivers. When you think about your kid right now, it's being served in public school, you know, from basically 7 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're under funding through Individuals with Disabilities with Education Act. When your child is no longer eligible for public school services, they've met FAPE, they've graduated, or they've exited public school, you think about as a parent, what is my adult going to do? Those are those waivers that help provide those services. They also have a whole range of services like community access that they can bring to support parents. But we need families to think about applying for those services and getting on those planning lists. So one, the state knows you're out there. Two, you know they're out there, and then we can start making a plan to support your child once he or she exits our programs in public school. So that's just a brief summary of what I do as a parent mentor. I've been thrilled to be partnering with the Low Country Down Syndrome Society, and I hope y'all will think about reaching out to us and letting us work with your wonderful children, because we do care about what happens to our kids in Georgia, and we want independence for all.
Well, thank you, Julie. That was awesome. A lot of you don't know, I'm John Bogardus. I didn't tell you that in the beginning. I'm the president of the group. And Candy, I'll put up my email here. So if Julie is an excellent resource for being able to, whatever situation you have, if it's a crisis in your family, if it's a funding issue, if it's an IEP issue, Julie has, I hate to say this, been around so long that she has all the answers. So if you would like, this is my email address, bogardus@ldssga.org. You pass on any information to me, I'll pass it on to Julie at Samantha. Recently, we had a lady that was having an issue in her apartment with a neighbor, and so we had resources that we were able to get for her and to help her out and support her with the rental community. And and Julie was the one that kind of assisted in that. So it was really helpful. If you have any follow-up questions too, for Julie, if you leave them on Facebook, we can get those answered for you as well. So, just post them in the comments and we can get them to her. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it so much.
Anytime.
Thank you. So next we are going to go ahead and we're going to talk about, we've got our next event is September 3rd, and Night of Champions, because of the COVID stuff that happened, we decided that it would be best that we didn't go forward with doing the Night of Champions in April. So now we are in the process of having our virtual Night of Champions, which will be September 3rd. And Joe Marchese is here. He's going to speak to that program. Hello, Ella. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Hey, say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
So the Night of Champions
The Night of Champions
is Thursday,
is Thursday,
September the 3rd
September the 3rd
at 6:30
at 6:30.
on your own computer. So, hey, welcome, everyone. We're so excited that you're here. We're so excited to have our first virtual meeting. The Night of Champions is going to go on just as planned. We're going to honor 5 exceptional champions. You'll learn their names slowly. We're going to drip them out to you one at a time. We're going to have an award ceremony. We're going to have a similar program using StreamYard, and we'll be able to show a great deal of appreciation for the employers and the employees as we celebrate their contribution to the workforce. Everyone has unlimited potential, and through the Night of Champions, we're able to show other employers that unlimited potential can be a part of their workforce also. So we're excited to have you there. It will be Thursday, September the 3rd at 6:30, and we'll be releasing videos on this Facebook page leading up to that. We'll also have the President's Award and a few other things that I can't wait to share with you. So we are looking for silent auction items. So if you have anything that you would like to donate, or you know someone that would like to make a donation, feel free to email. You can just email John or actually you can email, probably the simplest thing is just to email me. I am jmarchese@ldssga.org. and we'd be happy to take any of your donations. Once again, Tom Kenkel will be the chairman of the event. I will be his helper, and we're just very excited to put it all together one more time. We're very sorry that we can't see you in person, but we're very excited to bring it to you in a new format and to be able to celebrate the achievement of those 5 wonderful people and their employers.
Hey, Joe, give us your email once more, and we're going to put it in a banner. So if anybody has any issues or comments or questions, they can send you an email.
Just jmarchese@ldssga.org. All right. And once again, the Night of Champions is going to be when? September
the 3rd
at 6?
at 6:30.
At 6:30. Perfect. So here, Mr.
Awesome.
John.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ella. It's great. It's great to see Ella, even more than seeing your dad.
Well, I figured everyone would enjoy seeing Ella more than seeing me. And Ella spent today. Where did you go today, Elle?
I don't know, but I went to karate camp.
She was at karate camp today.
Wow.
So we're very
That's
excited.
awesome. Yeah. Very good.
Great.
Well, thank you so much. Thank
Bye,
you, Joe.
everybody.
So next, we're going to have our executive director speak, and Whitney Lowry has some information on a bunch of different subjects. So I'm going to bring Whitney in here. Let me unmute you first, Whitney.
Yeah, appreciate it.
There we go. So Whitney,
Hi, everybody.
go ahead with funding, and we got some information on the Bananas game coming up, and all those things. Go ahead.
So we're going to have our annual Bananas game this Thursday, July 30th. That's going to be 7 p.m. at the Grayson Stadium against the Macon Bacon. We still have lots of tickets left. So if you are interested in purchasing tickets, you can either go to our Facebook page, which we have the link up there, or you can email us at info@ldssga.org, and I can certainly send the link to you there as well. Those tickets are, I believe, $18 per person, and they are following social distancing guidelines and ask that participants wear masks as well. So they're trying to make it as safe and as fun as possible. We are also taking up sponsorships for our virtual Buddy Walk October 3rd. So we're very excited about that and ready to not just get ready for Buddy Walk, but for some cooler weather as well. So October 3rd, I know John's going to go into more details about that. We are going to be continuing our sponsorship levels that we've had previous years, starting with our title sponsor at $7,500 down to our portrait sponsor at $150, where, you know, if you want to sponsor one of our amazing buddies' portrait, and not just on our website, but through all of our social media outlets, you can do that. And then we've got the Buddy Friend sponsorship level at $750, where we'll put your name on the t-shirt as well as other things. Just all about Buddy Walk. We also have the advocate level at $1,500, the gold buddy level at $3,210, and again, the title sponsor, which we'll have mad recognition for, also have on our virtual beginning ceremonies at $7,500. So if you're interested or know anyone who might be interested in that, please send them to our webpage, ldssga.org. Or they can certainly send us email at ldssgabuddiewalk@gmail.com. Thank you, John. Bye, guys. Oh, hi, Candy.
Thank you, Whitney. So my next guest is my lovely wife, Candy. And she is going to speak about our Night of Champions. I'm sorry, talking about Buddy Walk. My brain is a little fried. So, if you want to go ahead and speak.
Well, I'm back again with Buddy Walk again. Y'all know it's my time of year to come in front of y'all and talk about best event ever next to Night of Champions, Camp Buddy, and all the other things we do. But we are doing our first ever virtual Buddy Walk, and we are super excited about it. I am so glad to see everybody on here today. I miss everybody greatly, and I just hope that we can all get back to some sense of normalcy soon. But we're going to have some fun while we're waiting. So October 3rd, 2020 is going to be the day. And the best part is that you get to walk wherever you're at with whomever you're with. We won't be walking together all in one place, but we will be walking together in a lot of different places. So it ought to give us some real expansion, and we can, I mean, my goodness, if you've got relatives in Germany, then this is the time for them to participate because they can do it with everyone else virtually. So that's going to be a fun experience, and I'm looking forward to it. And I hope that y'all are too. Set aside that day and make it special, because that's what we normally do. And that's what all the rest of us will be doing. So that's the best thing to do. So if you have not registered your team, or if you've not found a team or registered to walk with us yet, you can go to our website, ldssga.org, go under the Buddy Walk tab, and it will walk you through whether you want to join a team, create a team, or you can just donate if you're not able to do either one of those things. And we are greatly appreciative of any and all of you that go on there and participate with us. Also, we will be t-shirts. They will not be virtual. You will actually get a t-shirt. And we're going to have to do that a little differently than in the past. So once we get all those logistics worked out with all this new things we have to follow, then we will make sure to get that information out to you just as soon as possible. I will note that if you do have a sponsor, as Whitney was saying, we are welcoming sponsors this year. We are looking forward to partnering with all of those that have partnered with us in the past, and even some new ones we can bring on. I need to know if they're going to sponsor by around maybe the 4th of September. Because if they want to be on the t-shirt, now they can sponsor anytime after that, but if they want to be on the t-shirt, which I really would love for them to be on our t-shirt, I'm going to need to know by September 4th. And we'll post a link to all these people that are doing the different things so that you guys can get in touch with who you need to get in touch with. I will tell you that right now, as we stand, we have raised $1,500 in our first week of being up and running, my personal cheer committee. We have got 9 teams registered so far. So that's exciting. We're on our way to our 54 teams we normally have, and I have no doubt that we will get there. And we have 34 people registered so far. So that is the tip of the iceberg. So we are looking forward to just a great year walking together but separate. And we are going to be putting the sponsorship information up on the website very soon, so that in the next day or two, so that you can go on there. You can send a potential sponsor there if they want to look at the information, or you'll have something there that you can refer to information wise. I know Miss Whitney would be glad to help you with any of that whatsoever if need be as well. And otherwise, register, as I always say. Look for emails and more information to come out soon, because it wouldn't be the same year without an email or two from Candy and the Buddy Walk Committee. And we will be getting information out to you just as soon as we have it. And we look forward to walking with everybody on October 3rd. And we hope all of y'all have a great day.
Thank you. So we thank you all for a great meeting. If you have any questions, I can be reached at, I'll put my email address up here so you can see it. So if anybody has any questions or issues, go to our site, and I'm Jay Bogardus at ldssga.org. And we are excited that everybody was here tonight. You can share this if you want. Thank you to Marjorie with Carriage Trade. She is the one that did a 2-hour meeting with me to set this up with StreamYard, and I think it's been wonderful. So it's a good way to keep in touch and to still you can see us, and we hope to see you soon. So thank you again. Have a good night, and until we see you, be safe. Bye.